Peace, Diehard. It's your boy Evil, the Any Star host of the DiehardKnicks podcast. I got a special guest today. This is Louis Balletta from the DR podcast. He also does a bunch of other things too, man. But we'll get into all that stuff, man. But without further ado, DiehardKnicks podcast. Let's get it back up here. Evil, talking with Luis, man. Let's get busy.
I love the graphics.
That's dope, right?
I love this is professional here, man.
Yeah, man. It's a big difference from the last time we did a podcast together, right?
This is no joke. I swear. I'm laughing, I'm smiling, and I don't know what to say right now. Like, you got the real thing going on. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun to me, man. You see this stuff in the background, all these bells and whistles and stuff. I'm having a good time with this stuff, man.
Man, this is great. You got it right in the nick of time. You get it?
Absolutely, yeah. I got you. Yeah. So this is this guy here, man. Mr. Louis Balletta. What you been up to lately, man? I haven't seen you in a while.
Working a lot, right? I have a little side business thing that is really taking all of my time, and it's going very good. But what's even better is that the Knicks are finally winning. And honestly, this is my favorite team since the 90s. I'm super happy. I am super happy.
Yeah, I don't think you're the only one that agrees with that, man. It's been an amazing season. I think the last time we spoke to each other, it was like during the Fizdale era, right?
Right. Sadly,
such a big difference, right, between the two seasons.
Listen, man, I don't know if this is a condemnation on us as people. Maybe this is very sad for me and you and fans. But listen, you can't tell me. You'd be lying if you didn't tell me. Your day is so much happier now that the Knicks are winning.
Absolutely.
I know. Yeah. Well, we all walk around with a little pep in the step. Now all of a sudden we feel young. We feel new again.
Mm-hmm. Yo, last night the game we lost. We lost against the Lakers, but the game finished at 1:30. And I didn't go to bed till like 2:30. I'm up in the morning doing what I normally have to do. I have to get up early to go to my gig and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
And being tired, even though I'm tired now, it's just the energy. I feel just so much better, man. Just to know,
feel alive. The games you're watching are now worth something. I hate to say it, but listen, it's been a long time. We're the most starved fan base in the world. What besides the Jets? Besides, there's other bad teams too, but. Listen, we've been looking for something to hang our hat on, right? And we came close with the Melo Amari thing, but let's be honest. If you come from the 90s Knicks, that Melo Amari team was nothing. So that didn't fulfill my taste buds. Now, this team, and it's a team I didn't even think was gonna even compare. But this is the first Knicks team I truly like since the 90s team. So that's why I'm pumped up. And I guarantee you, a lot of other guys our age are pumped up too.
Absolutely, man. You ain't gotta make fun of our age, man. The ageism and stuff like that.
No, our age is important. Our age is important. You want to know why? Because we witnessed the '90s Knicks. See, the young guys that I talk to, they think like the good Knicks were the Melo and Amari. I'm like, dude, you were not at the Garden in the '90s. You don't know what real basketball is, and we got it back. We got the Knicks basketball back. It's back to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Also to these guys that they don't really know about the 90s, but we can go as far back into the 80s. When I first started watching the Knicks, the 80s was bad. You want to talk about the 2000s? The 80s era was pretty bad too.
Of course, and I know you're a Bernard King guy. Remember that early? Yeah, but that's early 80s.
Yeah, definitely. And what do you think about
maybe 70s? I can't do my math right now.
Well, what do you think about Elfrid Payton, man? Because everybody's like roasting Elfrid Payton, but I remember guys throughout our history is way worse than Elfrid Payton, man. But he's getting a lot of flack.
Elfrid Payton, man. I laugh because I call him like he's serviceable. But listen, if you're a Knicks fan, you are so used to having guys like Elfrid Payton along. So what now? All of a sudden you start winning games, and now you don't want Elfrid Payton. Well, we've had our Elfrid Paytons now for 20 years. Like, you could deal with one more on the team.
Yeah, shout out to Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward was an Alfred Payton too back in the days, man. But
Yeah, yeah,
everyone
dude.
seems to remember how thinks that he was so good. He was Alfred Payton back in the days.
I totally remember. I remember Charlie Ward going up against Michael Jordan too. I remember. Listen, listen. We've seen it before, and right now this is the most. This is the highest amount of winners we have on the team. And listen, if Alfred Payton starts, I'm okay with Alfred Payton starting, right? As long as the right guys finish the job, I'm good with that.
Absolutely, yeah. Right now we got to get healthy, man. But Derrick Rose definitely he's been a bright spot for the Knicks
Yo,
too, man.
listen, you could say two. There's two. Actually, there's three separate stories this year. We got the Knicks, right? That's a separate entity. Then we got Julius Randle coming back, right? Like he coming back from the dead. And then we got Derrick Rose coming back from the dead. There's three different stories right now, and they're all Knicks. They're all separate entities, and they revolve with the Knicks. That's why we're going crazy as the fan base. That's why we have more this year to root about and to be happy about than we have combined the last 20 years.
Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to RJ Barrett as well, because like but just beginning of the season, guys were
Yeah,
talking about sending him to the G League and
yeah,
trading him and all kind of stuff like. But he's had an evolution. Another side story in this season that he went from like shooting 20-something% from three to now 40, almost 40%.
right, right,
Yeah,
right, man. Look, listen, man. You can't say that you didn't know that he was going to be that good. I didn't know he was going to be that good. We both nobody knew he was going to improve. Right? I have a question for you, man. Who do
yeah.
you think is responsible for the improvement? Do you think it's RJ Fully or do you think it's Tom Thibodeau?
Well, here's the thing. Tom Thibodeau set the table. There's
Right,
a blueprint. There's a blueprint to winning and
right.
style and just a focus, whatever.
Yeah,
But these you got to give the individual players their due because I've been fighting guys for seasons now talking about Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox and guys like
yeah,
that. But how
yeah.
come those guys haven't improved in the system?
Right,
But Barrett was able to, Randall was able to
right,
find his thing. Even
right,
Rose has changed his game
right,
completely.
right, bro.
So
I,
you got to give credit to those
there,
players.
there's one underlying denominator of all these guys. It's Tom Thibodeau, but you're correct. It's the individual player. RJ, they say, has one of the best work ethics on the team other than Julius Randle. So I believe that RJ is a workhorse, right? His dad, wasn't it in his dad? Was it his dad was a professional too? So
Yeah,
there's a lot there. So honestly, I'm a Knicks fan, and I got to be a very negative Knicks fan, in which a lot of negatives. I'm one of them, right? So
yeah, I
I was
remember.
down on RJ. I say, oh wow, he moves really clunky. I don't like the way he moves. He's a little uncoordinated to be a point guard. He's this and that, blah blah blah. I have so many bad things to say, but then he shut me up. He got better at his 3-point shooting. His percentage got better. He's feeling his spots. He can get, even though his shot in the overtime was horrible last night, he gets to his spots really well now. And honestly, he proved me wrong. The guy who really proved me wrong, Julius Randle. Damn, Julius Randle.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaq can't tell the difference between him and Zach Randolph.
Dude, yo, bro, I'll take him over Zach Randolph any day.
Yeah, that's what Kobe said. Kobe said that he reminded him of Zach Randall, a mix between Zach Randall and Lamar Odom.
I like that. I like that. I like that. I'll take Randall right now over Lamar Odom and over Zach Randolph. If you look at the trajectory at 26, 27 years old, imagine where Julius will be at 30 years old. Imagine.
Yeah,
This is great. What's going on right now in New York is insanely box office and crazy. There's a reason why you only hear of the Knicks, but you don't hear of Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. That's how good this team is this year. And everybody likes a comeback story, right? They got the glitz and glamour in Brooklyn, but we got the players. We got the blue collar. We got the workhorses. We got the underdogs. So we're taking their thunder.
yeah, we got the soul, really.
Right. Shout out to the Brooklyn Nets. I fucking hate you.
Well, give some thoughts on the Nets. What's your thoughts on the Nets?
The Nets, even though I don't want to give them too much airtime. I don't want to talk about the Nets, but Kyrie, listen, man, Kyrie, great player, right? Not the most likable guy, but great player. You got Harden, great player, doesn't play defense, right? You add all this stuff up. Yeah, the Nets have enough firepower with Kevin Durant to win the championship. If you don't think that, then you're just dumb, right? Anybody that thinks they can't win the championship is dumb. They got enough offensive firepower to beat anybody, even though they don't play defense, right? So I would love a clashing of the Brooklyn Nets versus the Knicks. The reason why? So trio-wise, plus Joe Harris, they have the best offense in the league is the Brooklyn Nets. And in my opinion, I believe the Knicks and the Lakers have the best defense in the league, right? So I would love to see the best defense in the league go up against the best three offensive players in the league, which is the Brooklyn Nets. What better of a showdown? And oh, by the way, they both play in New York. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, for the culture, right, man?
I mean, look at this. They're bringing. Look, did we sit back here and think that the new culture was going to be back in New York? Did we think so?
No, never. No. We never did. I didn't. There was no signs that this thing was gonna build the way that it has right now.
Nothing. A guy comes in, Tom Thibodeau, and let's give everybody credit, right? Everybody credit who came into the Knicks and started this, because hell, I didn't see this coming. I don't think any Knicks fan sat back and said, "Hey, this Knicks team, they're going to really do well this year. And by the way, they're going to be in such a good position that they're going to get a superstar in the summer, or they're going to get two superstars in the summer." No one thought that. I don't care who you are. You didn't think the Knicks were going to be good this year. Nobody did. So, I mean, this is like culture-wise for New York, this is a blessing. Finally, there's basketball again. And culture-wise, you got, again, as much as I don't like the guys, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. I mean, did we ever think that this was going to happen in 20 years? We didn't. There's no way. Nobody knew this was going to happen. It's like having Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson in the same state.
Yeah, on the same roster. That's essentially what they have there.
Right, but I'm saying, like, also with New York, Brooklyn got their thing going on, but New York also has these marquee players that are developing. So we have like a mix of the best superstars in the league, in my opinion, in New York. Everywhere, the Knicks and the Nets. Like, we're going to be sitting here in 3 years talking about Julius Randle and Barrett like they're the Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen for the Knicks. That's what we're going to do. Let's face it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing I want to mention with the Knicks, just to bring it back to the Knicks, is just the stark contrast between the way the Nets built their franchise and how we're doing it now. Everything with us is organically. We're building it through defense. We built up the front office, the coaching staff. You know, the team. Everybody plays hard and together. So
great point, bro.
Yeah,
great. And that's a great point. And you know what? Subconsciously, marketing wise, you know how good this is for the Knicks. You know how good this is, because everybody knows that it was built organically, right? So automatically we go into a playoff series for the next 3 years with the Nets. Guess who's automatically the underdog? Guess who's automatically the fan favorite? It's the Knicks, because the Knicks were put together in an organic fashion. And we know that. Every fan in the NBA knows that. So automatically the Brooklyn Nets become the villain. Kevin Durant has been the traditional villain, and he's on the Nets, right? And then you got Kyrie, not too well of a liked person, and then James Harden, who doesn't play D. It's great that they have these superstar sort of pampered guys, because the Knicks got the killers, the young killers, the hard workers, and the Knicks are coming for you. You know, they better be careful, because the Knicks have their number.
Absolutely. What do you think about our young guys? You talk about the killers. What do you think about Quickly and Toppin?
Who would have known? Listen, again, anybody out there, did anybody pick Quickly, Emmanuel Quickly? Did they pick him to be a 10 times better player than Toppin at this point? No. But it's obvious that he's a much better player. And that's one of the subjects I wanted to get on with you, because I believe that Obi and Emmanuel Quickly, they're the most polar opposite rookies you can find. The reason why? Confidence. If you see Emmanuel Quickly play every game, he's super confident, very grounded, almost like he's been in the league 5 years already, right? Whereas you see Toppin, and Toppin's struggling to even be out there. Every so often, he'll have a dunk. Every so often, he'll make 1 out of 5, 6 threes. But he plays with zero confidence. Whereas my man Quickly is the real deal. He's matured already. And to be very honest with you, if Quickly started, I think Quickly would be the rookie of the year.
I agree with that. Yeah, these guys, they're rookies, so they're gonna go through the rookie mistakes and stuff like that. But the key thing is like you said, he plays as if he's been in the league, 3, 4, or 5 years already.
But
So
where does that come from?
he comes in built just it's all a part. The Randall has that.
Yes.
RJ Barrett has that. Just even go down the line, guys like Bullock and whatever, they just have this thing about them that they're just not afraid to show up and play.
No,
So
it's unbelievable. You see, when you see Emmanuel Quickly dribble into a three from half court from the logo, right? Where does this guy get the balls to dribble and shoot a three from half court at his age? He's a rookie. Where does that come from? I'll tell you something. If any other player was to do that, I would get pissed off. But the fact that he does that on a regular basis shows me that he has balls. And if you are in New York and you're going to play for the Knicks, you better have a lot of balls. And Quickly has that maturity already as a rookie.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Knox and because I mentioned it before, Knox, Ntilikina and stuff? Do you think these guys will ever snap out of it?
No, Knox, no. I told you. I met both of them. Ntilikina, I always say, is like the nicest guy you've ever talked to, but he's too nice, and I think he plays that way. He's got to become a little bit more mean. But if I was to take the both of them, I would take Ntilikina because Ntilikina at least he's an elite defender. I don't think Knox is ever going to snap out of it. If you're a basketball fan and you've played your whole life and you see Knox, he waits for the three in the corner. The guy's like 6'8" or something. He waits for the three in the corner. He doesn't do much more than that. He doesn't show like this ultra aggressiveness, even though he's very long and can get to the rim. He doesn't do it all the time. He waits for that three in the corner. He's not particularly the best defender in sliding his feet. I would get rid of him right away.
Absolutely. Well, let the people know, man. You actually seen these guys play at Lifetime Fitness, right?
Yeah. No, I see them like very up close and personal, right? I and Ntilikina and all these guys, you get to see them and you get a good idea. But with Knox, it's like I don't see him as getting better. I hope he proves me wrong, but man, even with like Julius Randle, I genuinely didn't see him turning out this good. But he proved me wrong. Maybe Knox can prove someone wrong, But man, there's a lot of holes in Knox's game. To be honest, there's a lot of holes. At least Frank's getting better with his 3-point shooting, and I think he could get a little bit more aggressive. He would be good, but I don't see much upside in Knox. What do you honestly? Do you see any upside in Knox?
Well, I'm basically done with those guys. I've been trying to paint the picture to the different fans and stuff because this guy Quickly, he just came out of nowhere and already superseded Frank Ntilikina. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of these other guys too. Bullock came in here and took his job. How many more people are going to come on this team and take these guys' jobs? So it's not like a testament to what the individual is doing. We're not giving. It's not like the Knicks are not giving these guys opportunity.
No,
it's that these guys are just not bringing it. They just don't have it.
They're not bringing it. Like you said, they are not bringing it, and we see the difference. It's black and it's white. There is no gray area with this stuff. These young guys come in, like you said, Reggie Bullock, great example. You have a job to do, you do it. And look at what the job, even like a guy like, what's his name? The tall, skinny guy, Noel.
Yep.
I can't pronounce his name.
Nerlens Noel. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, even he takes his role seriously and he produces, right? If you compare even Noel to Knox or Ntilikina, it's a joke. So this is my opinion with the Knicks. Get rid of these guys who have produced. Get rid of them because now we have killers. We can't have a team with people who have produced. We can't have that. So now that we have a team of killers, we have to follow and keep that culture, a killing production culture. And you can only have rosters on your bench for those type of guys. Even if they're not the most skilled, I want the guys that are going to be killers. So get rid of Knox, Ntilikina, which I'm sure you agree with, and bring in two guys, maybe not as talented, but two guys that can really fit in with this team. This team is a hard-working, defensive-minded team. We got to get guys that get into those positions and play very, very efficiently and produce in their time. Not fan favorites, not guys that smile, not guys that are nice, none of that. We need guys that are killers here.
Yeah, self-motivated is the word, the phrase that jumps out at me, man. Like you
Yes.
gotta have you gotta have to just want it, man. Like somebody's in front of you, you just gotta have the mental fortitude or whatever, just to be like, listen, man, I gotta stop this guy. I have
Yeah.
pride in myself. Forget about the Knicks, forget about whatever. I'm
Right.
playing basketball. I just got the pride to stand up for myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So that's just gonna trickle into everyone else, man. So that's definitely the holes
Right.
that we have on this team that we need to plug up.
Right, man. Right. And that's it. Like, other than that, man, what we just talked about, there's not much else negative about the Knicks. You can't say much negative, right? It's a complete turnaround. I mean, imagine, like, our whole team was like Ntilikina and Knox at one point, right? We've been suffering with guys like Landry Fields. Don't even get me started with guys that we've had to play on the court.
Lance Thomas.
Just get the fuck out of here. It's like this is the Knicks. It's like, listen, man, what has been going on? This is New York. It's the center of everything, and we know it's the center of basketball, the cage, uptown. We know, and the MSG. What happened? So there's a new era, and I have to attribute Tom Thibodeau. I have to give him the most credit, and then I give the management the credit. The guys the GM that brought all these guys here. Right. But we really changed everything, and it's wonderful. Like, I love where we're going. We can lose first round in the playoffs, and I know people will get really upset. But at the end of the day, I'm okay. You want to know why? Because we're getting a superstar or two. And hopefully they don't. That's the thing. Hopefully they don't fuck up our vibe. But this is the first time I'm telling you we're getting a Damian Lillard. We're getting a guy of his stature this summer. So I just hope that they don't fuck up the vibe. But things are such in a good place that next year in the playoffs, Brooklyn is going to be in big trouble. Big trouble.
I absolutely believe that, man. I feel like we're maybe like 3 pieces away to stick it onto the roster that's going to take us into the next. It might not necessarily have to be like an all-star or superstar type of player, but if we can get that aggressive big man, that aggressive swing, just to get in there, mixing it, we're definitely going to be good.
Right.
Don't fuck up the vibe, like you said. I love that, man. Don't fuck up the vibe.
Yeah, don't fuck up the vibe, like because we know this team is attracted. Like, there's a lot of rumors out there that people don't want to come, and they've been actively recruiting behind closed doors. So we know someone's coming. We know, right? But yeah, like it's going to be that fine balance. Let's not fuck up what we have, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Although I do believe, I'm like, imagine. Because as good as Julius Randle is, as good as he is, he's great. And imagine we get a guy that is so freaking great that Julius can be the number 2 option, right? And then we have the superstar. And then you got Barrett as the guy that's like, the young buck. That's our 3rd best option. If they can play together, whoever that superstar is, whoever they can play. I mean, listen, in my fantasy crazy Knicks loving mind, I would have Kawhi Leonard here. I think he's a guy that would take us to the finals, and it would be wonderful. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm saying, like, I would love a guy like Kawhi pairing with the Julius Randle, paired with the RJ Barrett, right? And all we can do as Knicks fans is say, hey, I hope they can play well together. We can only hope the vibe is good, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely showed off when we played the Clippers, man, because we kind of locked them down for the most part. Reggie Bullock, Reggie Bullock did his thing holding down Kawhi. Paul George had to have difficulty against the Knicks defense. So they see how we play. So Kawhi happens to have a player option. So the Knicks have money. So if he wanted to come, we already painted the picture and say, listen, this is how we play. If you want to come play that style, come to the Knicks.
It's like, again, the culture is right for him. Defensive-minded team, right? And we need a guy that's a genuine team player to play with, to honor and respect our guys already. Julius, RJ, the other guys that are developing. And Kawhi is that guy. Kawhi's not a selfish asshole. He's a team player. And I think he fits perfect. So it's like, I want one of those type of guys to come here to gel. And you got to be honest with ourselves, because if you really want to be in the finals and the next year, if you want to be in the finals, you're going to need that one guy to take to take you there. You know, there's
Right.
one guy there's one like superior player. Now, if Julius Randle gets even better next year, then maybe he's the guy, right? Maybe he's that guy. I don't know. But the Knicks management will tell us and either keep Julius as the number one guy or bring in some guy that really wants to play here. It's going to be interesting. But what's great is that imagine us having this conversation. Like, it's a miracle we're having this conversation. It's a miracle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I thought this conversation might take place 5 years from now, but I didn't think we were going to have it today.
Well, what's the thing? Because right now, in my eyes, I think we have right now we're in a 3-year window, in my opinion.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like next year we can pick up somebody, maybe trade assets or whatever to get those stars, and then we just rock out for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll just reset and do it over. But a lot of people they want to get more younger. They want to. Some people are still talking about possibly trading Julius Randle to get pieces to continue to build for the long run. So my thing is, from my perspective, I'm thinking like, when did we start winning? So I feel like now we have a piece of time that we can win now, and then we still leave a little space where we can rebuild 3 years from now and do it again. That's what I think.
You hit it on the head, man. You hit it on the head. I'm cool with that. The thing is, like, I would like to reset. When you say reset, I would reset the big chips, the big guys, right? But we have so many good young players that those guys stay, right? These guys are winners. These guys we developed. But maybe you trade like whoever's coming here during the summer. You know, you use him for 3 years and then you swap him out with another star, something like that. But the great part about what we're talking about is this. The Knicks already have great pieces in place. If you take Mitchell Robinson, if you take Quickly, if you take a Reggie Bullock who you do not let go, you take these guys, RJ Barrett, they're all like, we got some nice young guys who can play. And you keep this nice, you keep what works, right? You keep the guys who know their position and play within their position. And then you could, you know, like you said, you could swap out some of these older veterans that come in and out. I'm okay with that. But I just love this team so much that I don't want to fuck with any of the chemistry.
Yeah, don't fuck up the vibe. That's definitely the key to this podcast, man. But like Quickly and RJ, you know, they're gonna be on their rookie scale. So like another 4 years or so, you know, we're gonna have to pay these guys. You know, so that's the window right now. If we can sneak and be able to build on top of their rookie scale deal, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, with this window, and then by the time it's time to pay them, then that'll be the reset. Because now our young guys are mid-tier veterans now, and then we can start that whole process all over again.
I love it, man. I love it. You should be up there in the GM position with the Knicks.
Yeah, man.
You should.
I wish, man. I wish I can get some kind of position with the Knicks. That'd be great.
That would be all. That's the dream. That's the dream.
Yeah, man. Definitely. So I mean, so what's your like overall thoughts now with the Knicks? What I say like playoff wise, we're talking about playoffs. What do you think the Knicks could do?
Like I said, man, I think they're going to beat the Hawks in the first round if they get the Hawks, right? I think they're going to land in that sort of a Hawk and Knicks sort of 4-5. That's at least what I believe. And if that happens, they got the first round. They're clearly a better team than the Hawks. For me, it's not close. Second half of the season, the Knicks will kill the Hawks in the playoffs. They're not close. But I believe, you know, you go – basketball's about matchups, man. And you know that. Basketball's about matchups. So could they handle the Bucks? I don't know. I don't think so in the playoffs. I don't think so. I'm being honest. Could they handle the 76ers? I think they're one piece away from Philadelphia. I don't think so. I do believe the Nets are going to have some trouble with the Knicks, and you mark my words on that. Defense usually can beat offense, and we know Brooklyn is only built offensively. So I believe that there's going to at least be some trouble. The one thing the Nets have over the Knicks is finishers. The Nets have James, who can knock down a late three. You have Kevin Durant, who's the best in the league at closing. And then you have Kyrie Irving, one of the best closers of all time. How in the world are you going to beat the Nets down the stretch? So I think as much of problems as I think the Knicks can give the Nets, I believe it would go 6 games. The Nets would win, and I believe the Knicks are one guy away from really really competing with the Nets to where they can take 4 out of 7 games from them. They're still one really big superstar away.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
These NBA players nowadays, they don't like to be touched, man. You look at Phoenix. Phoenix, the 2 games that we lost against Phoenix, they got so mad at us,
Right.
with the defense that we were playing. They just don't like to be touched. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Right.
if we, like you said, don't fuck up the vibe. If we can continue to get guys like that to make guys uncomfortable, it won't even matter like how many scores you got
I,
because
I know.
yeah,
I know. It's great. The Knicks are going to frustrate a lot of good players here. Again, like the Knicks. Remember the the '90s Knicks, right?
mhm.
Who did the '90s Knicks have to play? All the most talented teams, and the Knicks weren't as talented, but they were tougher. And the Knicks will rattle you. And Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, it rattles your brain, especially in the playoffs. So the Knicks are built to take on a lot of teams here in the playoffs. I think they're going to give a lot of teams a scare. So my guess is second round. I think they're going to get to the second round, and I believe they're going to get deep into the second round. What's your guess?
Yeah, I'm basically on the same vibe, man. Personally, like I'm looking at the different teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping like right now I think we're scheduled to possibly face the Bucks. I think.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so
yeah.
I would rather play the Bucks because I feel like we could. I'm not gonna get crazy, but I feel like we could beat the Bucks in 5 games, man. Five
Yo,
six
yo,
games.
listen, man, from your mouth to God's ears. That would be my wish, my dream. I don't know if that could happen, but I
Mhm.
mean, I just, you know why? I just think if we're matched up with the Bucks, man, the Knicks haven't been here, right? The Bucks have, and you know
Right.
what? Statistically, the Bucks are ready to just take it. I think Giannis is furious. They got Drew Holiday. They got another guy. I think it's PJ Tucker. I forgot who they got. But my God, if you're gonna count out Giannis again, I can't see him losing. He's too tough of a guy.
Yeah.
I see the Bucks as a really big threat to the Knicks. I was really praying that the Knicks will draw the Hawks. I'm hoping the Knicks can draw the Hawks. I think we all are.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they don't play defense. Defense when the playoff starts, the referees
Yeah.
kind of swallow the whistle and they start going back to the old school style of basketball, and
Yep.
that more favors the Knicks, than anything.
Yep.
But
Yep,
but
man.
um but like you were saying earlier, like matchups, like just like boxing, styles win fights. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I just think playing against the Bucks is just a better style because we got the cheat code. Whenever Giannis tried to drive, the
Yeah.
Knicks always sent 2 guys at him and it stopped him.
I like
You know what I'm
that.
saying? And then we were able
Yeah.
to lock down the Holidays of the world and
Yeah.
some of the other guys on the team too. So I would that's why I just have the confidence playing against the Bucks.
I
But yeah,
feel you. I
mhm,
got it.
yeah. I agree with the Hawks though, definitely. I think everybody wants
Yeah.
wants the Hawks too.
I got it. You're right. Matchup wise, style wise, all of that. You're correct. I would say I would agree with everything you're saying. It was just the for me, it's just the Giannis. Like in my head, I'm thinking Giannis he's so good and he's such a competitor. I can't see him. It's like the Paul George thing, right? These guys are very good. I don't think they're going to have 3 or 2 playoffs really. They're not going to lose like they have. Like, again, you're at that high level, and
Mhm.
statistically, you have to imagine they're going to be better. Like, watch Paul George this playoffs. He's going to be better. Playoff Paul will not be, that bad version of him. He's had enough of that, and he has some pride. So I believe him and Giannis, watch them in the playoffs. Remember what I said. Watch these 2 guys in the playoffs this year. They have the most to prove.
But remember Tracy McGrady?
Yeah, of
He,
course.
he he had a lot of heartbreaking things in the playoffs, man. It always was going to be his year, and then he
Right,
gets swept in the first round, swept
right.
again, goes to the West Coast, swept again.
Yeah, man. Some of the best players don't have the best playoff luck, and yeah, that's definitely an outlier. He's definitely one of those guys that has been like a kind of a habitual loser in the playoffs. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad for how good he is. But Yeah, and we're gonna watch it all develop. We're all experts until it happens, and then we'll see we'll see really what happens on the court. There's a lot of variables that go in, as you know, to playoff success, and sometimes sometimes the guys just don't have it. So we'll see. But secretly, right? If I told you Kawhi, I want to be on the Knicks, I just gave away my other favorite player. I would love Giannis to come to the Knicks. That would be my guy.
Yeah, that would be dope, man.
Yeah, I was at the Garden. I was at the Garden, and when he came out of the game once, man, and you know that the Garden crowd is super smart, and and a lot of people obviously were thinking like me because when Giannis walked off the court, everybody got onto their feet and was trying to give him like the New York welcome at the end of the game. They were trying to be like, "Hey, we love you. Now come to the Knicks." And it's like, I think he would fit amazingly well with this team. And you might think he doesn't have a jump shot, this and that. I believe two guys would fit well. Kawhi and Giannis would be great here.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just fitting in with the way Top Thibodeau plays basketball, it
Sure,
definitely would
sure,
fit. Yeah.
sure. I mean, what other guys could you like? The Knicks have heart. The Knicks have defense again. It's wonderful. So now you bring in two animals, you bring in two killers, and we keep the same vibe. It would be wonderful.
Well, one name we didn't mention yet is Lowry. What do you think about Lowry? Because they've been talking about him a lot in the media coming to the Knicks.
I don't know how old is Lowry. I love him as a player, but how old is he?
He's in his mid-30s, man. He's like on the wrong side of 30. Definitely.
Tough,
Like,
tough.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm very happy with Derrick Rose.
All right, so what's what do you think the next move is as far as point guard? Well, I mean, to kind of like get towards the end, like
Yeah.
what do you foresee, or what would be your your wish to improve this roster? How would your
Um,
starting five look like, and
Man,
things of that nature?
obviously, it would be wonderful if we had a young, really like a young superstar point guard. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'll be lying to you if I love Derrick Rose, but obviously he's bound to get injured soon. He's bound to break down. You have to know that that's coming, right? Sadly. So I would like some really strong point guard to come in. Not again, pass first guy. A guy like, dare I say, LaMelo Ball. I
Okay, so
think he.
you like Melo?
I don't really like.
I mean,
It's tough.
It's Lonzo actually,
Oh,
Lonzo Ball.
sorry about that. Lonzo.
Yeah,
So Lonzo Ball. That's what I meant from the New Orleans Pelicans.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So I would go with Lonzo. I would bring him in because he's a guy that looks to distribute first, and he's an underrated defender. What better guy to bring in? Now, yeah, does he shoot the three amazingly well? No. But I just want a guy to come in like that wants to pass first, right? That would be my upgrade at point guard. And then what I would like would be a nice in between big man, a guy that's like I just brought up, like a Giannis Antetokounmpo or a Kawhi Leonard. That's almost there, but I want again. I like guys that play defense. I like guys that play team ball first, and those two guys are elite A-listers. So I would like one of those two guys to come, and I would like a Alonzo Ball. That would be my recipe for the Knicks to be in the finals.
Okay, just getting Kawhi and Lonzo will take us there.
Oh, that's all I would need. That's all. That's all. If I was the GM, that's all I would do.
All right, I feel you, man. What do you think about our center, our big man position? I know we got Mitch and we got Nerlens Noel.
Yeah. I'm good with I'm good with them. I'm good. I think I have to have faith in Mitchell Robinson. I have to have faith as long as he's going to work hard. If as long as he works hard to get better, I'm good with Mitchell at the center, right? We got enough. We don't listen. You don't have to be the best at every position. I just want the guys that at their positions to know their positions and play within their positions, and the team comes first. As long as that happens, right? And Mitchell does do that. You don't see Mitchell out there launching threes from the three-point line. So I do like that about him. And anybody that comes here, they have to know I'm playing within my position and I'm going to play team ball first. That's what I want.
Yeah.
This is my recipe.
Yeah, accountability. That's probably like the number one thing, right?
Absolutely. You got to, yeah, of course. Of course. These guys, you have to be responsible in your role in the team, and not try to show people up, and none of that stupid like one-on-one stuff to show off. Like that has no place here.
Yeah, I agree. So you got Randall, Lonzo Ball,
Yep.
Kawhi, Mitch, and Barrett as your starters.
You said it. You said, yeah, like listen, that's a finals team for me.
I totally agree. If you add Nerlens Noel to that mix, you add Reggie
Yep.
Bullock coming off the bench. You got Derrick Rose coming off that bench too for that team. To
Yep.
me, yeah, that definitely to me. I don't know if anybody listening agrees, man, but definitely that to me sounds like a team that could compete
Yeah,
with
man.
like the Brooklyn Nets of the
I think
world and
so.
this that, and the other. Yeah,
And if anybody wants to fight that, what they're gonna say is they're not that good. Like of course they're gonna say, bring me Damian Lillard since he's a superstar, and bring what's his name? I'm trying to think like a Damian Lillard and Anthony Davis. Maybe they would be better, but let's not be realistic. Let's be real. Let's try and be realistic here. Number one, that's probably not going to happen because people have to pay. People have to make a good enough wage on the Knicks. That's number one. Number two, again, you don't have to have these like insane ballers at like superstar pampered dudes. I would really, really, really prefer what we have right now. Guys that are under the radar, guys that are really hard workers. And that's probably, I think a lot of the young fans, what they want is always like the glitzy glammy guy, the superstar that's like has all the shoe contracts, that has like the commercial, like they like those sort of cachet guys. I don't need those guys. I just want the best, hardest players at their position.
absolutely. That's just the quintessential Knicks, man. We want the hardest. We want the
Yeah.
hardest people, man, because that's how
Yeah.
we are. New Yorkers are just hard people, man.
Yes.
We don't have time for it, man. We're hard working guys. We got to go to
Yeah.
work. We got to hustle. We got to do the things just to survive in the city.
I
So we
agree.
want our team to be the same exact way, man.
I listen. I agree. And I think the culture was set up before the 90s and into the 90s. That culture was set up. So I believe that hold on one second. I'm just trying to do something technically here. Hold on. Okay.
Mhm.
So basically, I believe that we were shown that, and ever since then, we wanted to keep that around. And that's been, again, that's been sort of the letdown for the Knicks, for the fans, and we've been really suffering for a long time. I think everybody's been suffering. So, we're there. We're right there, man. There's nothing else. We can't do any wrong. It seems right now. We're doing good.
Yeah, it's tradition. We got to bring it back to tradition. You know,
Uh, Absolute Pat Riley basketball.
Yeah, Pat Riley, freaking Red Tolman,
Yeah.
going all the way back as far as the 70s and 60s, man. That's we always had underachievers, guys that
Yeah.
worked hard, played hard throughout the course of Knicks history. It just so happens that this little patch of time through the internet age, the ESPN age,
Yeah.
and stuff like that, we just got caught out there in the prime era right now. But now
Yeah.
this is a new era. Sun is shining on the Knicks right now, and we're definitely on a path to
I
get back to where we used to be.
I agree. The sun is shining. The sun is shining, and this is the path. This is the path. We are happy in New York right now. This is fantastic. Playoffs are coming. The weather is nice. We have a lot of young guys. I'm very, very, very good, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for it too, man. But we're talking about the Knicks, man. But I wanna shout you out too, man. What you been up to lately, man? Because I know
Uh,
you had the Dia podcast,
yeah, yeah. We're
Mhm.
gonna get we're gonna get the more episodes of the D up out quick. But the thing is I've been working on. We all have so many things in our life, and yeah, I've been working on some other company for like 70 days right now, nonstop. But I've been really on top of all the Knicks stuff. I've been on top of everything NBA, and it's just sometimes you got to get away, and sometimes you got to make some money.
Absolutely. That's New York for you right there, man.
Yeah,
That's the quick, just the heart of New York City right there. We
yeah,
we don't have time for the bullshit, man. We got other things to do. We don't
right,
got time to be wasting our time watching some sorry ass team,
right,
giving a half ass effort when
right.
just to survive in New York City, you got to get out there and do your thing, man. You gotta bring it for yourself.
This is absolutely, man, and
Yeah.
it's fine. It's fine, and then we all gonna go through separate stages. We all go through different seasons in the
Mhm.
life, and that's where we are right now. But I can't wait to get back to talking about the Knicks, and that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this as a fan, and I love it. I love it.
I appreciate you, man. You definitely brought a lot of energy to this podcast, man. I love it, man. You know, I'm wondering why we haven't done it since, man. We only did it. We only got together one time, and then
Yeah.
just today, man. We got to definitely do it
Yeah,
again. What
bro.
do you think?
You want to know the truth? I mean, listen. What has there been? Has there been anything good? The
Yeah,
Knicks have been dread awful for 20 years. Let's not lie to each other. They've been dread awful. It's not
Yeah, you're right.
motivating to talk about bad Knicks, you know?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
now we can talk about them all the time. This is amazing. For me, it's not depressing anymore.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, man. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, Louis, man. So and everybody what are you on Instagram? I don't think you're on Twitter, right? Are you on Twitter?
Instagram, I don't do really Twitter that much, but Instagram for sure. Instagram is Louis Edward Balletta. And that's spaces between Louis and Edward and Balletta. And follow me there. And if you want to say anything, you want to talk about a certain point, message me there, and we'll talk about that. I like is talk about Kawhi, talk about who you want to see come play on the Knicks, because I always like hearing from Knicks fans. All right, and
Yeah, no.
you could also tag Iru, tag him and speak to him. Tell him how wrong he was about everything. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
No,
man. I appreciate you, man. You definitely kept the conversation going, always tagging me and stuff and keeping me involved. So I appreciate you, man. It's guys like you to keep me motivated to keep going and stuff.
I love talking to the Knicks fan that you are. So anytime you want to do it fan to fan, I love to talk like this. So I love talking with you about the Knicks, man. So let's just keep doing it. I love it.
All right, no doubt, man. Thanks for coming to the Die Hard Knicks podcast, man. This is Louis Balletta.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I'll see you. I'll see you again real soon, bro.
Thank you for having me. Let's go Knicks. Die Hard Knicks podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, bro.
I'll see you in a bit. Bye-bye.
All right. Peace. Yeah, my man is a little modest too, man, because he's a good looking dude. Look at this here, man. All the ladies, check him out. Get out there and follow him on Instagram and stuff like that, man. So anyway, that's your boy Evru, DiehardKnicks podcast. 4 fingers to the forehead, tucking a thumb salute. See you guys on the next one. All right, peace.